For 4 generations, the women in my family have followed the same recipe for survival: stay quiet and blend in. My name is Emily Dawson. For years, I was known in my family as the poor cousin. While my relatives flaunted Ivy League degrees, corporate promotions, and European vacations during Thanksgiving dinners in Connecticut, I sat in silence, shrinking at the sound of my name. Being a waitress to them was synonymous with failure. And me, I smiled. I smiled even when it hurt, even when my hands bled from scrubbing silverware, and my feet ached, blistered and raw. No one saw me on the late-night subway in Brooklyn, smelling of grease and loneliness. My life had long been a cycle of exhaustion and silence. I waited tables, endured kitchen shouting, rude customers, and indifferent coworkers. I saved every cent, dreaming of something I couldn't even name. My mother used to say, "Sweetheart, stability is better than dreams." But it wasn't. It was a slow suffocation. Childhood taught me how to swallow pain. My dad died young, my mother cleaned houses, and I learned to smile over empty plates. I was never the family favorite. I wore hand-me-downs, got leftovers, and was expected to say thank you like I'd been given the world. My cousin Brooke, on the other hand, was the golden girl. Doctor's daughter, granddaughter of a Wall Street executive, star of winter galas and Paris-themed birthdays. I remember the first time I realized I wasn't welcome. It was Brooke's Sweet 16. I stood at the buffet table, plate in hand, watching her unwrap designer gifts while people laughed at a story she told about my shoes. I was wearing knock-off sneakers I got from a clearance bin. That night, I went home and wrote my first recipe in a notebook I found in the trash outside of school. Lemon honey bread, something my dad used to make. At Brooke's engagement party years later, I wasn't invited. Not really. Another cousin sent me a screenshot from the family group chat where Brooke wrote, "Emily? She's just a waitress. Maybe she can serve at the party?" I laughed to myself bitterly. That night, I cried in the shower, kneeling, the steam fogging the mirror. Water couldn't wash away the shame. Before I slept, I wrote on the mirror in red lipstick, "Background character until the first scene." That's when Ember was born. I started with nothing. Or maybe just with my dad's old pickup, which I sold to buy a rusty light blue food truck. I fixed it up however I could. Michael, the sous chef at the Brooklyn diner I worked in, helped with whatever he had: a screwdriver, a pep talk, and strong coffee when I wanted to give up. He believed in me more than I believed in myself. He said my cooking had soul, that I didn't just make food, I told stories through it. We started small, testing recipes at home, scribbling budgets in tattered notebooks, selling boxed lunches to office workers downtown. I'd ride the subway for hours with hot meals balanced in backpacks. I burned through shoes and hope at the same time. Some days I sold nothing. But one day, a man cried eating my cashew rice. "Tastes like my mom's," he said. That's when I knew this was it. The plan grew. I bought the van. We named it Ember, a reference to the warmth and smoke that never dies out. Half poetry, half survival. I hand-painted it, cooked in the rain, dealt with inspectors. People called me crazy, reckless, a dreamer. But I pushed through. The launch was a total disaster. It rained, the generator died, some ingredients spoiled, one customer had an allergy. A food critic made a viral video mocking me, called me a wannabe gourmet fraud. I vanished for 2 days, slept on the truck's floor with a fever. Michael found me with hot soup and said, "Don't let it burn now." The following months were a cycle of almost success and collapse. I slept 2 hours a night, starved to pay suppliers. I lost 20 pounds. One night I was mugged walking back from a shift in Queens. They took my phone, my purse, my recipe book. I cried on the pavement, my uniform dirty, hands shaking. Another night, I was forced out of a park spot by food truck competition. I nearly quit, but I didn't. Michael and I grew close. Kisses in the pantry, whispered promises, stolen afternoons. Then he got an offer in Paris and left. A note, "You're made of fire. You'll shine, even without me." I thought I'd die from heartbreak. Thought the van would die with me, but I kept going. I reopened. Alone. Worked alone. Nights with no sleep, electrical failures, staff quitting. But eventually, the people returned. At first, it was just 3 customers a day, then 6, then a line around the block. I didn't just serve food, I served redemption. I hired people who had been discarded, like I had. Former addicts, single moms, teens who had been incarcerated. Ember became more than a food truck. It became a movement. 2 years later, Ember was something else. Skylight ceiling, hanging plants, a seasonal menu that told stories. Influencers came. Critics came. I was called Brooklyn's culinary revelation. We hosted poetry nights and community dinners. I gave cooking classes to kids in shelters. My story was featured in a docuseries. I stopped apologizing for who I was. And then the unexpected happened. An email, request to book venue for engagement party, Brooke and Henry. She didn't recognize my name, just wanted the trendy spot in Williamsburg. I laughed and accepted. I planned everything, curated menu, ambient jazz, white roses. I included a dish named Kitchen Dreams, based on the lemon honey bread. On the day, the restaurant looked perfect. Candles, Billie Holiday playing, cream on cream decor. Brooke arrived, radiant. When she saw me, her eyes narrowed. Emily? The background girl's now a manager? I smiled. My hand didn't tremble. Not anymore. I turned back to the kitchen. During dinner, I watched guests savor dishes crafted from my pain and memories. Each had a story. The soup my mom made. The main dish used ingredients from my grandfather's backyard. Dessert? A twist on the caramel I used to sneak from my aunt's pantry. They called me up for a toast. Good evening, I'm Emily Dawson, executive chef and founder of Ember. Silence sliced the air. Brooke froze. Some guests chuckled, others gasped. I was a waitress. A joke, invisible, but I never stopped being whole. I cooked with rage, with grief, with love, and tonight I introduced the house chef. Michael stepped out from the kitchen. He came back, left Paris, came for me. For us, a toast to the background girls who wrote their own scripts. The room erupted in applause. Brooke's smile was pale. Today, Ember has 2 locations. Michael is my partner, my love. We still have hard days, but now there's laughter in the kitchen, plans on paper, and dreams rising in the oven. I give talks now. I consult for other small food businesses. I'm writing a memoir. I taught my mom to use Instagram. Brooke follows me. Sometimes she even comments, but she never forgot that night. Last week, I received a letter. Dear Emily, you've been nominated for the Rising Star Chef Award for North America. On the back, handwritten, background character until the first scene. I smiled. I cried. And went to make coffee. I added a sprinkle of cinnamon. Just like my dad used to.
The end.